What's going on YouTube? Fuzzy Wuzzy driving this old ass 89 F150. It's a stick. It ain't got no brakes. It's had probably 100 miles put on it in the last 5 years. It runs like shit. Trying to get it home to go through it so it can be a daily again. Have you guys ever tried driving a stick that's misfiring, so when you upshift into the proper gears it fucking lags and shakes even more without brakes? You got to put it in neutral. You got to kind of do the parking brake and pull the handle at the same time, so the parking brake acts like a regular brake. And it's a lot of shit to do. Got 4 pedals working down here. It's interesting. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'll tell you more when I get home. Okay, YouTube, I got her home safe and sound. Bit sketchy, but you know, go slow, country roads. Manual transmission's your friend. You can downshift. Anyway, I got it here because it wants, the owner requested it go back to being a daily driver. She'd like to, yeah, it's a she. She drove this truck for many, 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 many years. She's had it probably 15 years, 18 years. She's had it a long time. So there's some sentimental value there. I think that's why they decided to put some money in it. And you know, it's just handy to have a truck, you know. So that being said, it's got a blown brake line. It leaks every fluid imaginable. Right now, I'm just gonna do the brake lines. And man, holy shit! Look at all this room. This is nuts. It's got it's got the good one, the good old tower, the good old Tower of Power, the inline 6. I call it the most respected engine that nobody wants. You talk to anybody, and they, oh man, that engine will run forever. But they don't fucking want it. They'd rather swap it out for an 8. Anyway, I like it. And that's one of the reasons they're willing to put some money into this truck, is because they know there's nothing wrong with that engine, and there won't be anything wrong with that engine. So, you know, so that's good. That Tower of Power is staying. At least as long as they own the truck. But anyway, I was thinking, well, here's the brake lines. You can see right there how rusty all that shit is. The line going to the back is brand new. Not brand new, but relatively new. So I wasn't going to buy a whole kit. It was talked about just getting a whole stainless kit. Instead, we got this copper nickel shit. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with this shit before. It's expensive. This shit was like $50. However, it will not rust again, and it is very, very malleable. It is real easy to form, real easy to bend. It's good shit. I got it at, where did I get it? Advanced Auto Parts. They carry it in stock. It's good shit. Anyway, we're going to do the brake lines. And look at this oil pan gasket. It's just fucked up. It needs a rear main seal. It just leaks everywhere it can. It's old. It's an 89. Every seal on it is just brittle and old and just fucking shot. So my thinking is I've got to separate the engine and tranny, one or the other, to get to that rear main seal. So my thinking is I'm just going to pull the engine out, put it on the engine stand, because they got a whole gasket set for this thing. Every gasket that's on the motor, they got it, and it's going to be replaced. So instead of me being, you know, bent over the hood of a truck, no homo, instead of being bent over the hood of a truck, when I got to separate it anyway, I might as well pull the engine out. And then I can just re-gasket it on the engine stand. Now, the head gasket, I'm not going to fuck with the head gasket. there's nothing wrong with this thing, and these things aren't known for popping head gaskets. So I think there's a possibility there that I'd be introducing more problems than there already are. So I'm going to do everything but the head gasket. I might even pull this transmission still. Look at all that shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll pull the transmission out first and then pull the engine. And I know that sounds like a lot of work, but when you got all this fucking room here, I mean, it's not a big deal at all. It really isn't. Yeah, she's old. She's a little crusty. But considering where I'm at, it's not too shabby under here. Fucking metal gas tanks. Holy shit, I do not miss you guys at all. Fucking metal gas tanks. You guys remember them? Jesus. They got a bunch of parts coming from Rock Auto. The gaskets, and it runs like shit. When's the last time it's even had a set of plugs in it? Nobody knows the answer to that. So it runs like shit. But it runs like shit till it warms up. But since, nobody remembers the maintenance history because it's been sitting so long, they just bought everything. Oh, they bought radius arm bushings too. These things are pretty well had it. There you go. Yeah, these are getting replaced. So, and also, plugs, wires, coil, all that shit. Maybe not coil. Probably not coil. But, all the tune-up items. All right, so let me get to work and cut out all these old brake lines. All right, line number 1. Close enough to me. We're able to reuse the old fittings, which is excellent. Excellent. Wanted to show you what I used to flare it. It's a set from Master Cool. It is that, the hydraulic flare tool. I think these things get rebranded under other names, but it works well. Works really well. The only thing that I have an issue with is it's big. If you're trying to flare a line on the car, it can be quite cumbersome. But other than that, man, she's super duper. I had it about 5-6 years now, never had an issue. Okay, back to this. Okie dokie. There she is. Fuck. Close enough with me. How I get the bends is that cheap-ass bender, a socket, hammer in the vise. Just bend shit around the radius. Like I said, this nickel copper's good shit. Anyway, I'm not going to put them on yet till the rubbers get here. Look at that. Look how swelled up that shit is. Full of cracks and just horrible looking. Ohio doesn't have any safety inspections, so theoretically I could run it, but common sense has to kick in at some point. Well, while I'm waiting for the rubbers, I think I will pull this transmission out. That's right. I've decided I'm going to pull the transmission out. And then pull the engine out, perhaps. I don't know. Problem is, the way that these running boards don't jive well with my lifting pads. So I got to rig it up with shit like the 4x4s and this square stock here. Well, that square stock, those are the legs off of my cherry picker. So once I decide to pull the motor out, I can't pick it back up to go back underneath it. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue. Maybe I'll just buy some new 4x4s. Maybe I should get some more. I don't know. We'll see. Okie dokie. There she is, YouTube. Out about an hour and a half later. It took me longer to get these pieces of shit loose right there on the transmission cross member because the bolts go through the top of the frame rail. Kind of a pain in the ass, but not too bad. And this thing is one greasy pig. That thing is just all sludged up. I've seen a lot of dust inside bell housings before, but not sludge like that. That's from that rear main leaking. This whole thing is just fucking greasy. It's supposed to be, like a gray aluminum color, but the whole thing is just coated in shit. I am really tempted to chuck it in the back of my truck and take it over to the car wash and just blast this fucker. It's a lot more enjoyable not wrestling with greasy parts. We'll see. I don't know if there's going to be any negative repercussions from doing that. I've never done that before. And something else I had to do was put pieces of wood on the jack. There's various holes in the plate. You can see one there. And I just ran some screws up because this bottom of the transmission's round. So it didn't want to sit up there, and I didn't want the fucker to roll off. It probably had something on there from the factory, but, you know, I got this jack used at an auction. It didn't have shit when I got it. And the drive shaft, that came right out. That is one hell of a drive shaft. That's a long motherfucker. And you see that? Son of a bitch. Oh, I got the brake lines, too. I can finish that up. Fucking end cap fell off. A needle fell out of it, so that's fucking gay. I gotta buy a U-joint now. I just cleaned, too. Swept the floor, and I still can't find the piece of shit. It's gone. So, I guess I'll put a U-joint in it. So that's cool. Yeah, I got the brake lines, so I'll finish that up. And I think that's where I'm going to end it for this one. This video is about 10 minutes long. I forgot to soak down the bleeders on the brakes, so I won't be bleeding them today. I got time. I still got to pull the engine out and re-gasket it, so I'm just going to soak that shit down instead of taking a chance. Okay, YouTube, I lied. Just a little bit more. Kind of disappointed in these brake lines. They didn't come with these little clips. Luckily, and I don't know how, I got them off of this truck in one piece. They didn't disintegrate. So that's neat. And here's a better look at that transmission out in some light. That is one greasy pig. Look at that shit. Alright, now I'm done. Peace.